Hey everyone, this is Dr. Nabia Kelly with Tea Time with Dr. Kelly. Thank you for joining us today. We are on an amazing journey preparing for our podcast. Do me a favor before we even go into the episodes. Just begin to like, subscribe on below, share, tag, click the link and give it to someone. And also remember, do the notification tab that when we come on, we pop up. We have some awesome guests. We have people who are coming to drop some gems as they spill the tea in their industries. And we're looking forward for a dynamic time. So thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you. We look forward to engaging with you. And as you spill the tea, we shall pour into you. Today, we are here on Tea Time with Dr. Kelly, where you spill the tea and we pour back into you. Today's episode is one of my favorite. I must say that this is one of my favorite podcast episodes. Why? Because all of the making and what you see, my guest is in the studio, right? She's the one who is the organizational manager. She's the project manager. She's many hats in one. And I'm excited to interview her because without Tea Time with Dr. Kelly, you would not see me on today, right? We were with months of planning and preparation and timing. Timing is everything. We met several years ago, I want to say in 2017, 2018. And I believe that timing is everything. And I decided to go with her when I saw her at a venue a couple of months prior. And I said, okay, this is the time that I connect with this beautiful woman. She is a God-fearing woman. She wears many hats. And I am excited to have her in the studio today. None other than the boss, the one who is so poised. Dealing with me, you need grace. Dealing with me, you need a special level of anointing. You need articulation. You need how to calm this fire in me. And Courtney Aiken is one who can do that. She works with a vast amount of people, whether it's in ministry, whether it's in the secular realm. And I just always see her as one who gets the job done. We have the one and only CEO, I want to say CFO, big boss, all of that under the umbrella of boss, fashionista, all of those things. Courtney Aiken for the ShowKase Agency. We want to welcome you to Tea Time with Dr. Kelly.
Thank you. It's tea time.
It's tea time, right? And we're excited to have you here. So you are home.
Yes.
Right? And you have had the opportunity to see it from just vision stage to the point where we got to execution.
Absolutely. It was an idea that you had, like, I really want to do a podcast. You know how you have a conversation with somebody and you just may say, I want to do this, I want to do that. It's like you have like a brain dump. But we actually took what you said and we executed, and here we are.
Here we are. And one of the things that I was just pondering on was that success, you just don't land into success. You have to plan. You have to prepare. And I was reading a particular text and it was saying that it took 6 months of preparation with oil of myrrh, right?
Yes.
And myrrh is the purifying process. It's the process that people don't see in private. It's the process that causes you to doubt the very vision. So one of the things when you are planning and you're planning for success and to be successful, you need a team. And that's why I felt compelled to bring you on as a team leader. Not just a part of the team, a team leader, because you need someone with vision. You need someone who know how to bring your ideas and extrapolate it and bring it into fruition. And I am so humbled to have you here. And I just want the people to know, those that are watching, whatever you do it well, right? Yes. Whatever you're starting, there is opportunities out there waiting to be had. Right?
Yes.
So the ShowKase Agency, what led you to start the ShowKase Agency?
So I started the ShowKase Agency because I love to help people.
Okay.
And I would always have people say, hey, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? Helping people to plan events, helping people even with their administration for like, I initially started working with artists and musicians. So I started in the music industry.
Oh, wow.
And so in the music industry, I was doing management. I was also doing road management, traveling with artists. Then I got into planning like concerts and different festivals and events as well. And I actually started doing events for like the Stellars too.
Oh, the Stellar Awards.
The Stellar
Oh,
Awards.
wow. Okay,
so I was
okay.
doing that for a long time. And then in 2016, my father passed away.
Okay.
And after my father passed away, the Lord told me, I need you to shut everything down you're doing in the music industry. And I'm like, Lord, I just did stuff for the Stellars. They came to me and said that they wanted to make my event like an official Stellar sponsored event, you know, going on forward in the future. Why would you tell me to shut it down? And so dealing with losing my dad, then having to shut down my entertainment company
Side of
I
it,
didn't
yes.
understand it. A few months later, he spoke to me and said, the same thing you did for people in the music industry, I want you to do for people in other industries. And so he had me to start the ShowKase Agency, which has a K in it because it's showcasing the kingdom and the people of God's kingdom. That's what it is, showcasing it in excellence.
Wow.
So whatever your vision is, your business is, all of those things. That's why I started ShowKase Entertainment. And so for me, because like you, good at so many different things. And it's like, okay, I'm good at a lot of things, but what am I supposed to do? And so the Lord said, look at your 4 strongest skill sets that make you money and turn those into your services. And so that's how I was able to build my consulting company, because consultants can do so many different things.
So
I'm
many,
very
yes.
resourceful. I have connections. So I was like, okay, project management and consulting. So that's how the ShowKase Agency came to be.
I want to take you back to when I first met you.
Okay.
And I believe we were in Noonan, Georgia.
Yes.
You remember that time?
Yes.
And I was the speaker.
Yes, you were. Yep.
And I remember the woman of God had told us to go into her office. She didn't know how she was going to bless me. And I think it was at the time where I written my book. And I remember vaguely what I said to you. And you reminded me what I had ministered to you. And I had no idea that we would be connecting, because, you know, sometimes when you're working with other people, you were working with other people in the ministry and different industries, and you don't want to step on anyone's toes.
Right.
So I was,
Right.
you know, I kind of
Seem
played
like
my
an
position.
opportunist,
Yeah, you don't want to seem
or
like an opportunist.
like you're not genuine.
Right. So
Right.
you just fall back, but you have always been pleasant. And I just saw how you worked. I observed you a lot more than you knew.
Oh, wow.
But that particular time, I believe that I don't remember exactly verbatim what God had given me for you. And I was able to release that. And I remember when we connected, you said, Dr. Kelly, I remember you said this, and this, and it has come
and
to
it came to
pass.
pass.
I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Can you tell me? Can you remember?
So you spoke to me about how I was going to travel and get connected in various industries, like what I'm doing right now. But at that time, I didn't see it because the ShowKase Agency was in infancy stage. But now, 9 years later, a lot of those things have come to fruition.
Wow.
Yes.
And I was in a season of transition. And you're traveling, you're doing this, you're doing that. How do you keep it all together, right? That's one question. And the next one is, how do you, I want to get the question out correctly. How do you feel, or what is the most rewarding things of being a construction worker?
It's amazing you say construction worker.
Or let me call you a general contractor, GC.
Well, it's amazing you
Or
do that.
foreman.
Yeah, because my father had his own construction company. And so growing up, I would watch him look at his blueprints for the next house he had to build. So that's where I got my hindsight for vision from.
Okay.
Because he would study. And I remember asking him one time, I said, Daddy, what's that? He said, I have to study the measurements. And he said, the blueprints are showing me how every part of the house has to be built, the foundation and everything. So he would study before he would build. Preparation. That we talked about.
Yes.
So that's where that ethic and that hindsight, that vision came from, was seeing my dad at the dining room table going through blueprints before he worked on any house. And so when it comes to being a general contractor, I also saw how he had different toolboxes. And within different toolboxes, he had different tools that he had to use. Organization. That's where I learned it from. So organization is very important. I keep checklists on my phone, at my desk, on my iPad. Everything is synced together on my computer. I have a team. And, I'll talk more about how I built the team as well, because my business did not start growing until I started delegating.
That's right.
So organization, delegation, but ultimately God, because God gave me the vision. And so this is his business. So my business strategy meetings between that 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. hour every morning, that's me and God going back and forth and him telling me, this is what I want you to do next. This is what you need to address today. So he's my business partner.
That's
but
right.
It's ultimately
That's good.
Having the foundation with God.
And also, just fast forwarding. When I came on board with you, you were going through another life transition.
Yeah, my mother had just passed away. And the amazing thing about that, I was my mom's caregiver for 2 years. So she was living with me. And so I was balancing taking care of her and then also working, my business and everything at the same time. That was very different. But God was showing me about the importance of balance, right? Because sometimes you could get so consumed in business. You can get so consumed with, the day-to-day life journeys that you're not taking the proper time to balance. But that time was needed for me and my mom because we were able to bond even stronger. And, my parents were much older. I'm adopted.
Okay.
So my parents were both in their 70s when they passed away, and I'm still in my 30s. So, so being able to take care of her was just like, that was such a blessing. It was so rewarding. Like, I have no regrets in my life, but being able to transition from that into working with you, seeing where we are now after it's like God accelerated and made up for that time that I had to take to, kind of sit still for a while. Yeah.
And I believe we had started and then we had to kind of put it on pause
for like a month.
For about a month. And you don't want to be insensitive when people are going through transition. So I would check on you periodically. But I also knew that loss is real, and how will Courtney deal with this? I was like, did you need help or anything? And how did she just manage to just bounce back in, which
God and counseling.
Okay.
Seriously. I know we don't like to talk about therapy,
about it, I'm about to go.
But counseling is very important. And God.
She take insurance. He or she take insurance.
And you know what? She's an older white lady.
I might.
So someone who doesn't know me, but that's what I needed.
See, I also believe in that too, because I remember when I was going through a season, one of my professors told me, Nabia, you can't go to nobody of your color. You need to go to somebody who don't understand
and give you
your culture and give you a different perspective, because their trauma is not my trauma.
Because this same person told me, how do you feel knowing that you have a whole bunch of opportunists around you? I literally said to her, I said, can we end for today? Because I need to process what she said, Courtney, they only call you when they need you. She said, when do they genuinely call to see, are you okay?
I do.
You do.
I checks
you do.
on Courtney now. I checks on the people.
Yeah. But even the right circle, going back to the first question or the past question, having the right people around you is so important for being successful as well.
It's true, because you have people on your team. And even one of the things, we could just be talking. And it's like your creativity just dropped.
I don't know how to draw, but I can see how something's supposed to look. Yeah.
I could try to draw a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're watching blueprints and you're a construction worker, you have to see the whole site.
Yep.
You have to see it in
everything
its stage that is not even built yet.
Because here's the thing about building a house too. The foundation is the longest part. We talk about success.
Yes.
After they lay that foundation down, they got to let it sit for a little while. We don't like to be still. We want to file our LLC, our 501c3, and immediately have $1 million. That's not how it works. Because if that foundation doesn't have time to sit and settle, then anything you build on it is going to crumble.
That's right. Who builds a house without considering what foundation? Because the wise one built his house on the rock, but the foolish one build it on sand, right?
Yep.
So we're seeing a lot of businesses and a lot of ministries and companies build on sand. And when the cares of life come or a vehement storm come, it's not standing.
Right. Even my grandparents were farmers. You know, I'm from South Carolina.
Oh, my Lord.
And the thing is, like, even now I'm seeing how they would put seeds in the ground. You got to make sure the soil is right, that you're fertilizing it, that you're watering it. That's the only way the seed is going to turn into fruit or the vegetable or whatever you're growing. You got to go through a process.
Because the seed has to die to itself.
Yes.
And I had a conversation with a woman of God, I want to say on Tuesday. It was a beautiful, powerful. She is a farmer. She grew up as a farmer. And she said most of her sermons or teachings was based upon farming. She learned how to shepherd as a farmer. Right?
Wow.
And so much of life is in the field because you're going to see the wheat and tares or the opportunists grow with the wheat. Right? And I was also teaching in this particular season on the harvest. Right? Harvest just don't come when you see the blades white. It comes in the root, the foundation.
Scripture says the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few.
Yes.
That sticks out to me because that means some people don't stay through the whole process to see the harvest through because you give up so easily because it's not happening as fast as you want it to. We got to learn to have a crock pot type of faith, not a microwave.
Wait, hold up.
No,
hold up.
Because I'm a cook too. So
I'm a cook too.
Yeah.
Because they bought me a crock pot for my birthday.
Okay.
I ain't opened it yet.
Okay.
But I know how to cook on the stove. We do have a microwave generation.
Yes.
Who don't know what foundation is.
No.
Which leads me to, how do you deal with people who have made common mistakes, right? As a PR person, you see people make common mistakes based upon the foundation is off.
Right.
People want high success, but they don't want the foundational work.
Right. So the amazing thing about that is you could bounce back from anything. That's number one. But sometimes what you have to do, what I have to tell people is, listen, we're going to have to kind of go back to square one and we can just enhance what you already have because you have a foundation. Let's just enhance. It's just like renovating a house, right? So let's just do some renovations. Let's just upgrade what you already have and give you a new look, right? But you want to be sure that it's not a facade. Because ultimately, we don't want to have an image of something. You are your brand. So that's why I told you, I said, Dr. Kelly, when we do this podcast, you're like, well, Courtney, how should I be? Be you. This is you.
Because I was a little stiff the first one.
But look at how comfortable. Look, I feel like I'm talking to Oprah right now. You just flow. You flowing because it's your personality.
That's my personality,
right? You don't have to change. Like I feel like the people that are the most authentic, those are the ones that have the most successful brands. Like just be yourself, right? Like yes, you can still have the colors, and I feel like sometimes we get caught up in that, the colors and the fonts and how those different things are supposed to, websites and all those aesthetics, but then your personality isn't matching it. Let it be you. Let it be. Like one of the colors of my agency is blue. I have a very calm personality.
Yes.
That's where that blue comes from because I'm able to.
And I need that personality because y'all know I'm turned.
Yeah. Let's okay, Dr. Hill, let's just. I hear it in your voice.
You hear it, right?
I know you about to go off on her.
So you know what? How about you go take care of that?
Yeah, like let me go talk. Let me go handle it. So that's where that blue comes from, and then the yellow that's in there is for you to be showcased, for you to shine. Like so, it's my personality that's behind my agency, and so that's how you should build your brand. Build it based on who you are.
Because it's funny you say the blue. Protege is blue.
Yes.
And gold, right? Gold shines, right?
It shines,
But why I picked the gold was because refinement.
Yes. But people don't want to go through the process to be refined.
And I'm telling you, no one wants to go through the process.
They don't want to.
And crisis. You deal with crisis.
Every day.
How do you handle crisis as a PR person, as a person who has crisis management?
I'll give a perfect example. Thursday, it was one thing after the other. I literally turned my phone off. I put my laptop down and I went into my prayer closet.
Yeah.
I go into prayer first.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, God, tell me what to do. Because again, this is his business. He told me to do this. I didn't get up one day and say, I'm going to have a project management and consulting company. But God said, you're going to do this. And once I did that, I took that 30 minutes and then everything just started to fall into place. So the first thing I do, I pray. The second thing is I always like to look at situations from multiple perspectives, right? So when a situation occurs, I'm like, okay, this is my perspective, but let me put myself in the other person's shoes.
Yes.
And that's why I'll always approach and say, I understand your perspective and how you feel because boom, boom, boom. When you do that, then it makes that person feel comfortable.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, we can have conflict, but we can work through it. Because ultimately, it's just different perspectives. That's why there's conflict, right?
Yes.
And then there'll be some mornings like God woke me up out my sleep at 6 a.m. Thursday morning and said, I need you to do this project right now. And he's like, before they ask for it. So sometimes God will just jump me out of my sleep.
Absolutely.
And tell me, boom, because ultimately, if there's a project or a task, it's something he told the other person to do.
Right.
So we got to take our businesses more seriously because we have to handle them with care. And I think that's what separates me from other people. Like I treat your business, your vision, like it's my own with care. Like I'm a midwife.
And one of the things I do experience working with you, I'm a little biased for you because you don't treat me like you treat another client. Mm-hmm. It's client, like individualized, right? The stuff that you have for me to do or for us to get.
Everyone is different.
Everyone is different. Yep. And we require a different level of.
And that's the other thing.
Yes.
You have to learn your client.
Okay.
You can't treat the same. I can't treat you and my spiritual mother the same way. Y'all have two. She has a military background, and I know,
but
right? You know, but I know, like it's certain. If she called me, I gotta answer.
Oh, that makes sense.
Absolutely. That's that training. If my spiritual mother calls me, I'm like, hold on. I either need to text her immediately or call her because she needs something immediately, right? So that everyone is different. Some people like to text, so I know I'm a text. Some people like to have a voice note. Some people like email. You just have to learn your client.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Yeah,
Dr. Kelly. What you had to tell the people about Dr. Kelly. You working with me behind the scenes now.
If I can be honest,
come on now.
Dr. Kelly is one of my favorite people to work with because I'm gonna tell you why. Because
don't be blowing my head up, Courtney.
No, seriously.
All right.
Because we can be serious working on something. We could transition into going into prayer and you prophesying to me or I'm speaking something to you. And then we could just laugh and have a good, I can let my hair down. I don't have to be stiff.
Yep.
And you don't change for anybody. You are authentically yourself. Mm-hmm. And so like, I love that.
And then also I'll be giving Courtney some tea now. I'll be having tea, Courtney. Pick the tea up. Listen, we got tea time with Dr. Kelly.
Sometimes I be like, Dr. Kelly, I need to get off the phone and process.
I need to process all of this.
Right. I'm like, I wasn't expecting this today.
Because if you're dealing with a person, everybody got a representative.
Absolutely.
It takes too much for us to have a representative.
Yes.
Right? It takes too much of me putting on ears. So why not let me just be me?
Yes.
Right? So when I was feeling a little stiff with my little headband at the first session,
you like, let me
take off all of this.
I said, just take it off.
Take it all off.
And
right?
And that's the other thing too, making your clients comfortable around you, that they can be themselves around you.
You know, consultation is such a vast umbrella, a big umbrella. Mm-hmm. So can you just give us an idea of what is operational support and project management and how the two tie in?
Oh, absolutely. Because your brand can't look good but not operate good.
Say that again.
Your brand cannot look good but not operate good. Because here's the thing. Okay, so we both have luxury cars, right? So I have a Lexus, you have a Benz, right? Yeah. They look beautiful on the outside, but if that engine...
You better say that.
It could shut your car down.
I know. I had a Jaguar and it shut down.
Exactly.
The whole car.
Exactly.
But the Jaguar still parked up.
Right. But see, the engine is covered. So you have to make sure that the things that people can't see, that it's in order, because that's what's going to drive and keep your brand and vision alive.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to borrow that. 'Cause I'm preaching that on one Sunday.
Okay, go
You know,
ahead.
and I'm gonna give you. I'm not gonna plagiarize.
You don't have to. You don't. That came from the Holy Spirit.
Borrow that,
Right.
Because a lot
Yeah.
of people cover, and inside it ain't operational.
It's chaos.
And even when we're pushing out things, I gotta be it first. You can't expect people to follow your business, follow your ministry, follow your brand, and you're not at first.
It only takes so long before cubic zirconia starts to stain.
You better be saying
Because it'll look like a diamond for
listen,
a little while.
I'm on the market. Y'all better don't bring me no CZs.
But seriously, eventually you're going to start seeing these little green, like, where are these stains? Because eventually it's going to show what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, your brand may look good and you don't have any organization, nobody answering the phone, answering your emails, nobody can get in touch with you, all of that stuff. But eventually it's going to catch up with you. What's going to happen when you double book and you got to be in 2 cities in one day? Or you got to have that organization.
And one of the things I appreciate with you, and this is for somebody who's listening, you want somebody who's honest and not a yes person. Mm-hmm. Courtney is not as blunt as I am.
I'll be a little professional with my words.
Professional with her
I'll be
words,
like,
so
well, Dr.
sweet
Kelly,
and soft spoken.
that
I'm gonna learn. I think I'm going to a public speaking course. I think I gotta go
you
and
want
take.
to like Toastmasters or something.
Yeah, I think I also need a acting class because I need to regulate my tone because my tone could be a little abrasive.
Now Tyler Perry, I don't know if you're watching, but call Dr. Kelly.
Come on, call me now.
Call her.
Call me now.
Call me now.
She dead.
Whatever
she dead.
happened to
she
that
dead.
lady? Oh, she died.
Listen, how she a psychic and she didn't even know she was gonna die? Okay, that's for a whole nother day. Call me now.
Because I used to see her on the TV all the time growing up with the commercials and all that. So I didn't know she died.
She did die. So
Wow.
I'm like, how Miss Cleo gone? And she don't even know she was gonna go. What kind of her powers wasn't working for her? But anyway, no, seriously, one of the things I appreciate is because if I see something that come in, or for example, a flyer or something, I'm like, Courtney, I don't like this. She was like, I ain't like it neither. She ain't gonna say yes. Oh, Dr. Kelly, she's not gonna convince me to like it. No, I'm not feeling this. This is a little
But
off.
not only that, I'm gonna tell you I don't like it. I'm gonna say I'm gonna fix it.
Yes.
Let's fix it. Let's make sure it looks better. It's high quality, high level. All of that. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's one thing you need when you're working with someone who's on your branding, that they have vision. Mm-hmm. They have vision and that they're able to represent your brand even though it's not their brand. Because we're a team, part of the team. So she's spearheading things. And as an operational person, the cohesiveness and everything must work intricately. And that's what she does. And I appreciate that because where we're going is nothing what we're seeing right now.
Yep.
So people will probably despise small beginnings, but I don't.
So I read a book called We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers. She's a Black woman. And I read this book, and one of the first things that she mentions in her book is having a support team. Because she mentioned how she was burning herself out, working her business by herself. So she said this tip, and I actually did it. And when I did this tip, that's when my business started to grow, right? And I started not having as much burnout. She said, hire an assistant to work for you 5 hours a week, pay them $20 an hour. She said, put the ad on Craigslist, but at the bottom of the ad, say in the subject line, when you send your resume, put your favorite color. She said, that way, you know that people read and pay attention to detail because they read all the way to the bottom.
Okay.
So I did that, and I was able to sort through. I had a lot of resumes.
Yes.
I was like, oh, you didn't leave your favorite color in the subject line, you're out. Because you're not going to pay attention to detail. Because the thing about branding, event planning, all the consulting, I worked as a real estate paralegal for a long time. And when it comes to like transferring money for closings and all of that, I had a deal one time that had to go back to underwriting because $5 was off of the settlement statement.
That happens.
Detail is so important with your branding?
I was a paralegal too, but in the DA's office.
Really?
Yes, I used to work in Bronx District Attorney's office.
So you know illegal stuff.
And you have to redact things. You have to do discovery.
Yep.
You got to make sure that your stuff is on point, right? And I'm a detail-oriented person. I'm a stickler for detail.
Right.
It has to be efficient.
Yes.
If it's not efficient, it won't work.
It's not going to work. Yeah.
Right. So I run a tight ship. So I think I probably was. I think I was supposed to be in the military, to be honest with you, because I like things done at a high level. Right. You may not have a high budget, but I'm going to produce it like it is.
Right.
And I also want to just ask you, how do you maintain authenticity while promoting visibility? Because you've been authentic from the day that I've met you. And I believe that one of our sisters said that you're too modest. No, we humble, but we get a job. How do you balance being authentic?
Wow. I mean, I come from humble beginnings, though. Like, I'm from the low country of South Carolina. My hometown is 12 miles long, 5 miles wide. So I come from a very hidden place, right? And so I'm always used to, like, being in the background. My parents did not buy me name brand clothes growing up. They could afford it, but they did not want me to have a personality of wanting a whole lot of attention, or just eventually, as I graduated and went to college, then they started giving me, like, name brand things, but they didn't want me to find my identity in that. So I think that modesty comes from my parents, very honest. They were both very humble people. But being myself, like, I don't know anything else to be. Like, I've never tried to be anyone else, anything else. I know I'm continuing to grow as we all go through different seasons, but I mean, I'm just me. I'm just me.
You mentioned being adopted and coming from the social service industry. I've been 17 years in the foster care industry. And I don't see, like, your identity is off. Why? Because whoever raised you instilled some good values within. And that's important because I worked in a depraved population, you know, and people don't know who they are. They're hurting. They're going through many things. That's why I had stayed in the industry for so long, because I could not look at these young adults or children. This is just a record on my desk. It was somebody's life on my desk. So in a world where people are lacking identity and authenticity, I really appreciate that from you, because social media, the media on a whole, what you see is not real.
But I also grew up with a very strong father figure. I mean, my daddy almost shot somebody for yelling at me one time. I'm for real. He did. He almost shot somebody for yelling, and he did not play when it came to people mistreating me, any of that. So that's why, for me, I'll remove myself from a situation if it's, no, this isn't. Because my daddy was crazy. He carried a black bank bag, and I used to think he had checks in the bag. So one time he had to go to the insurance company to go, I guess, pay some bills or something. He called me and said, "Hey, Court, I left my black bank bag on the dining room table. Can you bring it for me?" I said, "Okay." He said, "But listen, put it on the floor. Don't put it on the car seat." I was like, "Okay, that's weird." He would say that. I picked it up. It was heavy. I was like, "What daddy got in here?" I didn't open it.
You ain't
feel. He had his gun in there.
Okay.
So he would take it. If he went to go get a haircut, anything, he was taking his gun with him. But he did not play about his family being mistreated. I mean, he almost fought this person at Burger King because they gave this girl, when they were doing the ices at Burger King.
Okay, the slushies.
This girl, this girl had ordered, it was a white girl. She had ordered hers after me, but got hers before me. Oh, my dad was about to so from a young age, my dad taught me the value of valuing yourself and not letting anybody
run over you.
you.
That's right.
He literally told me, this was his advice when it came even to marriage, right? He said, if you have to pay a man's bills, or if he has to move in your house, excuse my language, he's a sorry nigga. Don't bring no sorry.
You heard that? You heard that, people?
He said, don't bring no sorry nigga around me or my house. I said, okay. That was the only, because I asked him, Daddy, what do you want to say about marriage? That's all he said. He said a lot without saying a lot.
Because the person got to take care of you.
Yeah. But he also said something key, your house, meaning you need to have something for yourself.
That's right.
Before you let a man give you something.
That's right.
So that value, that authenticity, that came from my parents.
And we thank God for good foundation and good teaching. You know, the elder's supposed to teach the younger, but we're in a disparaging time.
Exactly. And because my parents were older, too, that extra dose of wisdom.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some success stories.
Okay.
Right? What success stories have you had through the ShowKase Agency?
I think the greatest is my spiritual mother. For those who don't know, Latrice Ryan is my spiritual mommy.
Listen, Latrice, Dr. Latrice, the Right Reverend Latrice Ryan. She don't know. She prophesied to me. Listen, I got to say this, and I'm going to give it back to you. It was March 6th, 2020.
You remember the exact day.
Yes, and I had a black and white striped New York company dress. It had a little blue. And I was like, okay, waiting for the last person. She done called the offering, everything. We were in Noonan, Georgia.
Yeah, we were.
And we were about on the brink of a pandemic. She had no idea that I was sleeping on my ex-husband's couch. I'm telling you.
I would have never known
she had no idea that same day he closed all the accounts on me.
And you still pressed and came to
church.
And
I still pressed with $6 in my account.
I would have never known.
You would never known that, right?
No, you did not look like what you were going through.
No, I did it. And she began to prophesy to me, the last one. I had some money because I did a funeral. So I had $6 in the bank account that he closed. But I had $500. I had went that January to do a funeral. And I had like 300 or 400 remaining. I peeled off the 200 out of that. Right? Not knowing the other 200 was what I drove down to Georgia with just $200. And she prophesied to me. And she said that, oh, that dress is so beautiful. It look better on you than it look on me. I remember exactly. She said, oh, they gonna pay you for what you got inside of you.
Oof.
And I just said, God just told me right there, what's in your hand, Nabia? What's in your hand? And Latrice, and I'm just calling her by first name respectfully, Dr. Latrice Bryan said, oh, they're going to pay you for all that wealth that you're carrying inside of you. The knowledge that you got, people going to call you for you to teach them, to develop them. If I think I got it on voice note in my phone because I voice notes my prophetic words. You see me studying like Moses, prophetic word, right? She said that to me. And that day shifted my whole life.
Wow.
I was sleeping on that couch, not knowing that I would leave Georgia, fly back to New York, March 10th. And then the following week was pandemic. March 10th was my last preaching engagement. And the following 2 weeks was the pandemic. It shut down the whole state of New York.
Wow.
Because, New York was the epicenter. But I say all of this to say timing, prophetic accuracy, and God had to use somebody. See, that's why you can't size nobody up. You can't think that you're greater than somebody that you can't receive. So when she ministered to me, I knew that was God speaking because he said, what you got in your hand? I done did the doctorates. I done did the masters. I done did all kind of stuff.
Those things.
And everything that I went to school for while people buying their stuff.
Yeah.
They going on.
You actually went to class.
They went to Etsy to buy their
You can get anything on Etsy, huh?
So they bought their little bachelor's degree on Etsy or, they created their own bachelor's or master's. She said, what you went to school for, people gonna call you to pay you high dollar for it.
Well, the season is now.
And the season is now.
Amen.
So the success story of, and I watched her.
Yeah.
She was with Prophet John Hannah not too long ago.
Yes. So, but let me actually tell you the success story though. So the Lord told me to start the LLC, the ShowKase Agency. He told me to file it. It's $100 in the state of Georgia to file your LLC. Maybe a week after the LLC was filed, she reached out to me. She said, I've been watching you the same way you said that you watch me. And she was like, me and my husband need help. And so she basically interviewed me without telling me she was interviewing me. Do you know she was the first invoice I had paid for the ShowKase Agency?
What?
And she taught me how to do bookings and all those things I do for people.
Yes.
And now it's a service that's offered. But beyond that, being her administrator, I've seen how we went from one place to now evolving to where she is now, which is amazing.
It is amazing. Because I remember just seeing her on Facebook.
Doing Tuesday morning prayer.
Yep.
And she's still doing the awakening
She's still
prayer
doing
every
awakening.
Tuesday.
I was following her for a long time. Right? And then the thing is, one of the things too I can say about you, Courtney, you have no problem about saying who your spiritual parent is, because you meet a lot of leaders who say, I believe the Lord wants you to come work with me, and the Lord has not said that. You don't. Paul didn't have all these spiritual
Even when
children.
it comes to people I work with.
That's right.
If somebody reaches out to me that I know met me through her, I will go to her and say,
Absolutely. Hey, how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
Or this person
And
tried.
she'll be like,
No.
or she'll say yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and this is how we have to do etiquette. Ministerial etiquette is lacking. Professionalism is lacking. And I appreciate your professionalism. How do you approach brand building differently for public figures versus businesses?
Wow. So I actually do have some corporate clients, businesses that I work with versus people. If I could be very honest with you, some corporations really don't have a structure like people think they do.
Really?
Like I just took on Remax as a client, right?
wow.
A Remax franchise.
That's like a real estate, right? Okay.
But they don't have any social media, no nothing. And so we literally have to start them from scratch for their office, right? So a lot of times it's really not as different as it's really the same. It's just different entities, right? So I treat everyone the same. I treat a person and a corporation the same way. You know what I mean? So I just go based on what the need is, because everyone's need is different. So I'm never going to put people like in an order of priority or say, well, because this is this type of agent or client, then I'm going to just work on their stuff. No, everyone gets treated equally. Now, if my spiritual mama call me at 5 a.m, I'll answer for her. Other people, it's not going to be the same.
I don't even call you. I will
but
text.
I'm just saying.
I will text because I respect the boundaries and everything. But if I'm going to call if I need a call.
Yeah,
but
you do.
I honestly don't need to.
Right. But again, I treat everyone the same way. I'm going to go the same way I would go to you is how I would go to a corporate client.
Yes.
Like, okay, let's do an evaluation. Tell me what's going on. And then from there, we start putting strategies together and then start organizing in order of priority what needs to be done. But yeah, a lot of these businesses and corporate clients, they don't have what people may necessarily think they have. Or sometimes you look and you're like, how do y'all have all this money but no like operational
structure
system
or anything?
None.
So I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking, this is another impromptu.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here and I'm seeing your team come in construction gear. You know how to do with this, the hard hat. And I'm seeing Courtney have a conference. And you're coming in gear.
This confirmation, because I've taken a year off to grieve, losing my mom. But next year God gave me something new
So
that I'm launching next year.
Construction theme, like you're building people, you're building lives, one life at a time, right? So when you have this conference, right, you're going to have high level people sitting, high executives in there in your construction outfit, right? You're going in as a GC.
And the GC has subcontractors that work.
So the people who work like the branding, the people who do media, social media, podcasting, they're coming in as subcontractors.
Wow, I received that, Lord.
So that's our attire for the conference. Now, if you need me to do some intercession,
absolutely.
I'm coming in my whatever attire too.
Absolutely.
My Timbs.
Absolutely. But it's called Take Up Space.
Take Up
is
Space.
the name of it. Because for a long time, I did Finding Me Before I'm Found for single women. I did that for a long time. But the Lord spoke to me one day and said, well, after they're found, what's next? I said, oh, I didn't think about it.
We got a choice when we found.
And he said, after you find yourself, right? Then now you need to start thriving and operating in the space that God called you to. Because some of us, there are gaps because we're not where we're supposed to be. There's vacancies.
And I believe that we're in a time and dispensation where God is opening up vacancies for us to fill those places and spaces.
Absolutely. And the other thing I want to say too is this. I used to work, being from a resort area, I used to work in hospitality during the summer. So I worked at a hotel during the summertime, right? And I remember that if you were a no-show, your hotel room would be given away.
Yes.
And so you got to understand, if you're a no-show for whatever God has told you to do, and you're like, I'm supposed to be writing this book, I'm supposed to have this business, you keep talking about it, but you ain't doing it, God gonna have somebody else show up in that spot that you're supposed to be in, because the work of the kingdom has got to be done.
And then sometimes people look at their condition. Let's look at the lepers in Second Kings chapter 7. The lepers, they had a leprous condition, but they said, if we sit here, we gonna die. It's better we get up and go. And when they went, the Syrian army had left because God made it where they thought that the adversary was coming. And when they went, regardless of their circumstances, let's look at the lepers. They had to be quarantined. They could not be around society.
Right.
Their condition could not limit them. Your condition cannot limit you from going into spaces, whether it's your condition is a lack of resources, a lack of finances. What are you going to do with the space that God gave us?
Let me tell you what my prayer has changed to now.
Okay.
My prayer has changed from God, give me the money, to God, tell me how to get it.
Tell us how to get
Tell
it,
me
Lord.
how to make the money.
And those of you who watch it, both of us, we are recipients of your wealth.
Yes.
Come on, somebody.
Yep.
We are divine magnets of favor and wealth, right?
Yep.
We're not repelling no wealth, right? He said the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just, right?
Yep.
We the just, right? Come on now.
Yeah, because he'll give you
magnets.
creative strategies
Come
on
on
how
now.
to make money. That's why I told you, I said, Dr. Navia, I said, you do know that if we build this podcast and we get your subscribers, you can start making money from YouTube. You can start getting TikTok checks. You can start getting
tell 'em to
advertisement. Oh yeah, please subscribe to Tea Time with Dr. Kelly. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. You can also make sure you're following us on Instagram as well, y'all. TikTok.
Right? And also, one of the things with Courtney, she's going to be resourceful. You have a lot of connections. And that's why the therapist must have said, how do you feel all these opportunists around you?
Yep.
Right? And you may not see it as opportunist because you're in it.
Because I'm just so used to always helping people, giving people a connection, doing something. But yeah, the people that was close to me, it was like, you need to evaluate that circle around you. Yeah.
What one piece of advice would you give someone who wants to elevate their personal presence or their branding presence?
I would honestly say make sure that it's the timing of God. Because to everything, there's a season. There have been times when I tried to do something and everything kept happening to not let it go forward because I wasn't supposed to do it. So I would honestly say, make sure that you're pursuing the right thing at the right time, because you could have a whole lot of vision, but it could literally be you working on one stream and then that stream turned into another stream and it turned into another stream. And that's what I found myself. I was scattered and all over the place a long time ago, doing this for someone, doing that. And God said, no, create one company. And through that one company, offer these different services. And so now I have multiple streams that come through my agency.
Yes.
So find that one thing that you could focus on right now that could bring in the other ideas that you have together. That's what I would say.
Because one of the things also I can add is build your personal brand.
Yes. And if you have a church, like I've had with this talk with Dr. Kelly, I'm like, let's brand you first, then the church. Because when people see you, it's going to lead them to the church. It's going to help them to grow. It's two different entities.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe even the woman that you brought on for us to speak to about grant building and writing
yes.
and everything, she suggested the same thing. So there was some cohesiveness in the conversation. And Courtney, what does people say about Courtney, right? What does Courtney do for fun?
I love sports.
Sports.
My dad was a boxing trainer.
Okay.
So growing up, we used to watch, like our daddy-daughter date nights would be watching Tuesday night fights on USA. Or on the weekends, we'll watch old Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield fights. But baseball is my favorite sport.
Okay.
So I love sports. I love going to like the Battery to see the Braves play. I love to read. So I always have different like audio books that I like to listen to or even to read as well. And I love music. I love music. And I do like to travel. I haven't done a whole lot of traveling over these past few months. Just kind of giving myself time to giving myself time, you know, and dealing with the loss of my mother. But I love to travel, go different places as well.
So let me throw a little question out there.
Okay.
To all the brothers out there looking. You want an honest woman who is full of integrity and character. This is Tea Time with Dr. Kelly Dating Service.
Oh, Lord, not data, sir. Well, see, you see how this turned into another stream of income? It started as the podcast. Now you got the Tea Time Dating Service.
This is Dating with Dr. Nabs.
Hannah is, for those that don't know, we kind of have an audience. So sometimes you may see Dr. Kelly kind of look out here. But Hannah, Dr. Kelly's daughter, is just like, oh, my God. Her face right now.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, my God. So is there any room or tea in that sentimental area?
You know what? I am open to whatever God wants to do. The thing was, after suffering the blow of losing my mom, people were like, oh, God's going to send your husband. I'm like, listen, a husband's not going to fill this void. Because if I go into a marriage and I'm grieving and I'm not even myself, those first 3 months, I didn't know who I was all over the place. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, especially with it being getting close to the holiday season, that was a whole nother layer of grief. Right. Mother's Day, all of those things. And so what I wanted to do was make sure that I grieved well. Because I didn't realize I hadn't properly grieved my dad and my grandmother. I lost all three of them in my 30s, back to back to back. So it was a triple whammy. So I needed to make sure, let me take the time to grieve and get well so that I can be the best version of myself when God does bring whoever that is.
And then, you know, grief sneaks up on you at different times. You could smell a scent.
Anything.
You could walk into a community where you were and you begin to go back. Because you remember, we may not say it's a trauma, but it's like your brain has taken a photograph of those loved ones, those losses, and you got to process it.
You do.
You know, and I appreciate you not working through your pain, your grief.
Oh, absolutely. Because I wanted to be sure that I'd handled it well and that we don't start working and I have a breakdown 6 or 7 months later because I didn't take the proper time. But again, to answer your question, I am open, whenever God may want to do it. But I want it to be His doing because I almost actually got married over like 10 years ago, and that was a whole debacle. But I told God after that, I said, Lord, let it be whoever you want it to be. That's right. Because I don't want to deal with this like my heart being crushed like this again. Well, so it's literally God.
You got Sister Nabs on your team. We about to roll up like Peterina. You feel me? They got to come correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I am so happy to have had you on this show. I want you to tell the people, the audience, where they can find you. Absolutely. How they can book you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go to www.theshowkaseagency.com. ShowKase has a K. You could also follow me on Instagram at the ShowKase Agency and also at the Courtney Aiken. That's my personal page. And then my personal site, if you do want to book me, is www.thecourtneyaiken.com.
All right. Somebody calling to book you now. You heard that? Somebody done heard it.
Call me now.
Call me now. Call me now. Yes. So we want to thank those of you who are viewing. Just remember to subscribe below for Tea Time with Dr. Kelly. Share the link to somebody. Send that up arrow and send it to somebody's text message or something. Copy and paste on social media. You know what you could do? Even copy it and just keep on sending it to 100 people in Messenger.
But make sure y'all subscribe because we are trying to build up her subscribers so she can start getting some money, y'all.
Yes, so we can monetize on the tea.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you all for joining us for our episode with Tea Time with Dr. Kelly. And we look forward to seeing you another time. Just remember, subscribe, tag, share, put your notifications on as we continue to spill the tea.